pretty outlandish, but I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're gonna pay the consequences for that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody, literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Boom. Oh, it's about to get funky. Funkier than you could have ever imagined. You know, Richard Hart is a boss. Hex is literally the best thing on the planet. It's simple mathematics. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. Man, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep. Everybody. My God. Ex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets me. Yo, when is it told you? Dollar told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. All right, guys, what's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday to you, wherever you are. Let's get to it. This one isn't going to be long. I'm just going to update you guys on what's going on because people just love to talk out of their ass without actually knowing anything. So let's get to it. That email that was posted this morning by somebody that apparently deleted their account or whatever the hell happened to their account. I don't know. Understand that email is real. It's not fake. I confirmed it myself. So that's pretty much that. I'm not going to give out any further information in regards to that email because you just cannot be privy to it because we don't know where this is going. So it's not to create FUD. It just is what it is. So just mind the verbiage that you use in social media because, again, social media is a public forum. So anything you do or anything you write on those platforms can and will be used against you. It's just the way the system works because that's what we allow. So use your brain, shut the fuck up, write nothing when you know nothing. I woke up to that. I didn't know what the fuck that was. And yeah, this shit is real. You don't gotta like it. Just fucking deal with it. So it's pretty much just what it is. Take it or leave it. It's irrelevant. You don't gotta like it. But that's what it is. Let's see what else. So we got Testnet. What is it? V2B. That's live, right? Very important because that just puts us one step closer to what we all want and what crypto itself needs, right? Because if you haven't noticed, Ethereum sucks, and that's just what it is. So yeah, Testnet V2. You can check your balances. You can check your balances for PLS, PLSX. Don't forget to add the coin for PLSX. And yeah, those are pretty much like the most up-to-date things that are happening that are really important. Everything else is pretty much all the same, right? As far as what's going on in the world, it's just a mess everywhere. Everybody's lying about everything. And, you know, the thing you have to understand is as we build in the real world, understand that the gatekeeping is real. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. Hell, you don't even have to disagree with it. But understand that when somebody is telling you, hey, this thing is happening because of ABC 123, then it probably is. Because one incentive do the people building have to lie to you about anything. We're trying to get our backs pumped. So maybe, just a thought, pull your head out of your ass, and that's it, right? Like, seriously, pull head out of ass. How do you intend to progress if all you do is regress to the same shitty ass behavior? So look, guys, the email was basically stating that Hex is a scam and all this shit. Now, what you might not know is what caused that email to come to the person. That is what we don't know. But the email sending it is an actual, true, verified email. So when it's time to discuss it further, we will. But up to now, just know that that email was real. It's not fake. And that's really all you need to know up to now. Because it doesn't involve you. And it's, again, the same scenario that we see with Binance, right? You have these entities that interject themselves within the decentralized space and try to ascertain whether something is legit or not. So how does this happen? Well, if you've been around longer than 2 days, let's say you've been around since the launch of Hedron, well, you would know that Hedron it's not verified everywhere, right? It's not. So what does that mean? What that means is if it's not posted on the sources that the powers that be like, it's not a verified coin. Hex still has that message pop up here and there anytime it gets removed from your cookies and you have to re-add it. You get a warning when you add that contract to any DEX that does not list it. So you got to understand what the fuck is happening out here and not just talk for the sake of talking. Not really a good look. Because at the end of the day, most people that are talking just to talk are just online talking. They're not actually doing shit. So those are the kinds of things you got to keep in mind when people start throwing their opinion around on social media. Is their opinion even valid? What proof have they given us throughout their existence in this community to let us know that their opinion is valid in this aspect? Right? These are the thoughts we got to have when people just start spewing their opinion. Because if you're just giving your opinion, how good is that? I mean, I think we all know by now it's as good as your asshole, right? Not good at all. Unless you're fucking constipated. So, if you're fucking constipated, maybe pull your head out of your ass. That's probably why. Why? And these are the things that we just see on social media, right? People pretending to be knowledgeable. Hell, we spent 2 years being called lunatics because we were right about basic scientific facts. And we just literally swapped from one lie to another, and we're being called lunatics again. And here we go, being called lunatics in regards to an email. Just because somebody else uses that centralized exchange does not mean a motherfucking thing, actually. Why? Because these centralized exchanges are literally incentivized to fuck you. Literally. I mean, I don't know if people just forget Canada happened like 2-3 weeks ago or whatever, but that's coming. I already warned you guys about a ton of shit that's already happened. And that's just going to be another one of those events that happens. And I'm just going to be standing there saying, well, told you so. Don't bother me none. All the same. Because if you're playing yourself, guess who you hurting? Yourself. I don't really give a fuck about Twitter Spaces, and I no longer have a smartphone. So, no can do. yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to you, Mayo. And shout out to Jake Lund. Shout out to the whole team out there in Australia putting in that work. Because again, it's not about necessarily um, any one individual, right? It's about the individuals doing what they want to do and succeeding. That's what we're about, right? How else is Hex going to succeed if we all don't succeed independently, right? People like to pretend that people are just supposed to buy into some notion just because they think so, just because they think they should, right? Now, what made me so bullish about Hex, since day one? Well, what's made me so bullish about Hex since day one and keeps me there is a simple understanding of what it is that I know, right? That's all. So if you find yourself in a space where you can add value using Hex as some type of pillar, foundation, support system, whatever the case is, it's literally on you to make it happen for everybody. It's not on anybody, right? Mayo and team did that themselves. They all they did was say, "Hey, we got this going on. Is there anything you guys can do to help here?" And people helped, and that was it. And now we have a winning team, another one, right? And this is how the pot is supposed to grow. It's not supposed to grow by suckering people into thinking this is where they need to put their money because that's where it's at. I think people's misplaced understanding of how wealth comes to you is exactly why so many people are going to get wrecked once Pulse Chain launches, because they're going to be out there chasing shit coins, trying to get more T-shares. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'll just state the following. If you don't know how to read software code and you're out here fucking slinging random cryptos that are not cryptos, by the way, because see, that's step one. Step one is understanding that. And 99% of motherfuckers out here trying to sling these shit coins don't even understand that first thing. Because again, there's nothing wrong with speculating, but understand what you are doing when you are speculating. Because here's a simple fact: speculation implies loss. That's why it's called speculation and not a sure thing. See how that works? It's kind of crazy, right? It's almost like the words mean what they mean. It's fucking wild. I don't even know. But it's one of those things, right? Where if you don't really sit there and think about what the hell it is you're doing, you're going to get fucked. And that's exactly what crypto, well, the fake crypto is. I mean, people forget 2017, 2018, 2019, all these periods of time where they didn't make money. They bought the top 2017, 2018, and they fucking rode that shit or sold out. Right? That's literally how it works. Now, what people don't, all right, this is free alpha. And don't say I never gave you nothing, because this is literally the most important fact about markets that you are ever going to hear from anybody that won't tell it to you. Probably two other people that understand what I'm about to tell you. Probably two on this planet, period. Everything you trade outside of a decorrelated asset is correlated. Literally. Period. Period. Not even a debate. Now, what do I mean? Well, what is the norm that people want to see? People want to see the markets go up. Simple. Not go down. Now, what the hell does that mean? Well, what that means is that no matter what the ticker, the industry sector, or whatever the asset is, it could be a bond, it could be a stock, it doesn't matter. The implication is now based on what the entity providing the security to the investor does. That's the only differentiator. At the very base level, every single security is the same. They're all predicated on middlemen performing some function such that you may or may not benefit in the future. Simple. Doesn't matter if it's a stock or a bond. They are both still securities predicated on the work of others. Simple. Now, how is that? Well, nobody is issuing you a stock or a bond if they don't have the financial reason to do so. Right? I mean, stocks IPO because somebody's going to benefit from that. Bonds get issued because an entity is going to benefit from that. This is what work of others means, literally. So I just wanted to touch on that so people could understand the difference between a security and an actual cryptocurrency, which involves no middlemen. Again, first line of the abstract of the Bitcoin white paper. Okay. So if you're going on to a centralized exchange to trade anything, guess what you're doing? You're not trading crypto. You might think you are because the words on the screen read the same, but they are not the same. Simple. Now, how do we know this, that they are not the same? Well, remember that time when Richard was calling for the top Bitcoin and the 10,000 bottom, and I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. I was thinking more 15. And then one day we all woke up and Binance happened to magically have a scam wick down to 8,000 plus. Who remembers that? Because that's exactly what I'm talking about, because it didn't happen anywhere else. It just happened there on Binance's little fake exchange where so many plebs got liquidated because it's fun. That's what happens when you trade on exchanges. You get fucked. Simple. Now, for those of you thinking that you're doing the right thing by chasing meme coins that you cannot read the software for just because some other motherfucker is saying do so, good luck to you. Because you're going to find that one where it's going to be a trap. Because guess what you're not doing before you put a single bit of value in that contract? You're not reading the code. You're assuming, oh, that other motherfucker said, yeah, that shit's good, so it must be. Otherwise, he wouldn't be saying it. That's what you're doing. Is that beneficial to you? Probably not. Because you don't know the risk that other person is taking on. You only know the risk that you're taking on. Very, very salient point. Because that literally defines your future if you fuck it up. Because again, there is nothing wrong with speculation. What's wrong is when you don't know what you're doing and you're overexposing yourself because you don't understand what you're doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not knowing is okay, but pretending that you do when you don't is what's not okay. Because this is how people get wrecked. This is how I've blown up many accounts. This is how every trader blows up many accounts. It is part of the process. The whole reason Hex is the shit is because you don't have to fucking do anything. Oh, you bought the top? Well, I'm fucking sorry, man. You should have fucking understood what you were buying when you fucking bought the top. Because the fact that you're complaining merely highlights your ignorance in regards to what the fuck is going on here. Why? Well, you didn't take into consideration the fact that you probably should have staked, because the only motherfuckers complaining are not staked or got very, very short duration. Been proven many times before. Been proven this time again. Many people will not show their staking length. Hell, some motherfuckers ain't even staked. So they don't get to cry at all, because that's the whole point of fucking Hex. The whole point of investing any capital is to make more money. Nothing else. I don't understand why people think that pissing in the wind is a smart way of making money. But hey man, some people do. And that's why you have to be cautious of who you follow with respect to speculation. Because speculation is not the same thing as putting money in Hex. The fact that Hex is down 70, 80% is a function of ignorant sellers. I mean, it had me thinking we really had nefarious people in the community that just bought Hex at the beginning to sell it later on, but that shit just literally doesn't make any sense. So it has to be that you got a ton of motherfuckers in here just got lucky and they're just selling out. Period. Simple as that. Right? What else is there to do? If you don't know, you will get taught. And it ain't gonna be some person that teaches you, it's gonna be life. Because everybody else is doing what they're supposed to do. Question is, are you? Because again, there's nothing wrong with speculating. There is something wrong with not knowing what you're doing when you're speculating and overexposing yourself when you don't know. That's wrong. And that's why I do not talk about speculation. I have no interest in getting people fucking wrecked. Because trust me, all it takes is one. You can have a string of 10 good fucking trades. Your balls would be so big by that ninth one that 10th one is going to work out. And that 11th one, you're going to say, you know what? I'm too nice, man. I'm just going to go on ahead and retire with this one trade. It's what people do, whether they want to or not. So this is why staking is superior. You remove the potentiality of getting wrecked from the equation. Assuming you understand that you have to be invested in anything for a period of time. That's just the way markets work. Doesn't matter if you're renting the position or not, right? And if you don't know what renting a position means, well then shit, you got a whole lot to learn and you probably shouldn't even be opining on anything I'm saying. Because again, I stay in my lane and people need to stay in theirs too. The next time you're on fucking Twitter, you make sure you highlight that. A lot of dumb motherfuckers on Twitter today. Whole lot of dumb motherfuckers. So you be sure to let them know. Don't be shy. Plebs are everywhere. And the Hex community is no different. Now, again, understand the difference between building wealth and speculation. If you missed the email talk, you're just going to have to watch it over, homie. I mean, the fuck? Like, you're 23 minutes late. I'm not rehashing anything just for you. Rewind. Yeah, well, as long as you're in your lane, man. That's the whole point. Doesn't matter. Everybody is an expert in what they know. And that's how you win. I'm not out here trying to be a fucking surgeon. Right? So maybe you should take a fucking hint. Now let's see what this question is. There's a lot of people replying to it, so it's probably a dumb one. Let's see. Do you think RH underestimated the power of bigger pays better when it comes to T-shares? Seems the really rich stake 30 days and dump it and earn a month's salary. Nah, that shit doesn't affect T-shares. Because you have to understand how T-shares work. This question just highlights that you probably don't fully understand how T-shares work yet. Because no matter how much money they're putting down, they're earning less over time in fiat terms. Because they can only get so many shares every month. Because the T-share rate only does one thing. It only goes up. So if the ROI for that month is not significant, it doesn't matter. That's it. That's how T-shares work. Hope that answers your question. If not, you need to go do more homework on how T-shares work, sir. because that's literally how it works. So, all right, let's see what else. Let me think. Hex. Okay, Hex. Again, just want to rehash on this important point. For all the newbies that have been in Hex or bought the top or whatever, it's been 6 months. It's been 6 months since we've seen a top or a new high. Excuse me, been 6 months since we've seen a new high. Now, the question is, why are people so adamant about Hex and calling it the best thing, even though it's down, right? 6 months. Well, it's really simple. And this is something you have to grasp or try to understand if you don't have the knowledge base to grasp what I'm about to say. Because you have to realize just because you don't understand doesn't make something not true. Very simple. That's it. Right? If you don't understand something, you got to try to learn. You don't just speak out your ass and look a fool. You just letting everybody else know you a fool. I mean, you want to do that? Go ahead. But I'm just trying to help you out. Because at the end of the day, it's you that's looking dumb. Your accusation means nothing. Your commentary, your opinion literally means nothing. Because there's people out there that actually know what the fuck they're talking about. And once the noise is gone, guess whose voice and whose commentary and whose so-called opinion is going to matter? Well, the person that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. Because opinions don't matter, but facts do. See how that works? It's kind of crazy, right? Yeah, Hex can be down and to the right, and it better stay down and to the right for a long fucking time. You know why? Because every time it stays down and to the right, guess what you're doing if you're staked? Huh? Guess what you're doing? If you're staked. If you're not staked, then you're getting fucked, which is good. Good for you, because you didn't listen and you didn't learn. And that's the whole point. Investing is about time in the market. It's not about timing the market. That's what plebs think. That's what rookies think. That's what novices think. That's what people that don't have a fucking clue think. But Hexicans get paid every day. Why? Because they're staked. Hexicans can go and sell their Hedron, and guess what? It doesn't fucking matter. Because they're making more every fucking day. You know why? Take a wild guess. Because they're fucking staked. Holy shit. Are you getting it yet? Or are you still slow? I don't know. A lot of motherfuckers ain't staked, so they slow. And that's all how it works. Dude, then what the fuck are you saying, man? I mean, it's irrelevant. I mean, the comment is irrelevant. I don't see how it affects anything going on in Hex. Because at the end of the day, the payout is still greater than 5.75. So what's the issue? Exactly. I'm not understanding your line of questioning. It's just like baseless commentary. The T-share rate works how it's supposed to work. Nobody's benefiting more than they can or are allowed to because the math doesn't let them. So if you have a problem with somebody having $20 million, then maybe you should get $20 million. Something to think about. I don't know. So if you're in Hex, I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to say in Hex. Because here's the thing. A lot of people claim that they want to get rich, but they're not willing to do the work. Right? They're not willing to do the work. This is why they jump from trade to trade, from promise coin to promise coin, thinking that they're going to find that one meme coin that's going to pop and change their life. There's got to be another Shiba Inu out there, right? It can't only just happen a few times, right? It's still got to happen in 2022, right? At the top, right? Right? It got to happen. It must. It must. Think about it. There's a reason everybody wants to emulate staking now. Everybody and their mother wants to emulate Hex. What a coincidence. Must just be magic. Don't know. Must just be magic, right? Because how else do we get from a point in time where people think something makes sense to another point in time where nothing makes sense? Hold on, guys. Right. So look, again, it's about understanding what you're doing. Nobody here can tell anybody what to do with their money, right? That's a very basic fact. However, you should know what you're doing with your money. And that is a friendly bit of advice, right? Because this is how you keep it. You're down fucking 80% on your Hex buy from September, October. Well, I hope your ass fucking staked, because that's the whole point. So it's your own fault. If you got into this expecting a 2x in fucking 1 week, well, it's your own fault. It's not anybody else's fault, because you made that decision. Nobody else made it. Now, the question again is, why are we down here? We're down here because people don't know how to sell. Literally. That is the actual reason why. For anybody that's curious and does not know, because I've only been saying it for the past 2 months. So stop asking and understand how markets work. That's literally all you got to do. There is no reason outside of that as to why the market is down where it is. How can you pretend to want to sell a million of anything and not expect the market to be affected? If you sell a million of anything, that's fucking wholesale prices that your ass is going to get on the spot. Period. Literally. So those are the kinds of things you got to keep in mind. Why is the price down? Well, these motherfuckers keep selling millions of Hex at one time, and it don't make no motherfucking sense, because all they're doing is destabilizing their value. That's actually what's happening, just because people don't want to do multiple transactions. That's it. That's literally all. So it's strictly ignorance on the part of sellers, because there's nothing wrong with selling. You got to take profits. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? You want to take your profits, that's your business. That ain't nobody else's business. But understand what you're doing, because the game changed, right? It's changed. So you got options now. And if you don't understand that, well, maybe you should try to figure it out. But you got options, right? I don't know, bro. I mean, if you got a crystal ball, let me know. I don't know. You tell me. No idea. You tell me. You're asking questions that nobody has the answer to. I mean, if you have them, share. I don't need. Richard doesn't even have them. So what are you even asking? Right. And it's questions like that that really just lend one that knows to be able to ascertain another person's knowledge level, right? Because that's a question that literally makes no sense. When are you going to get rich? How long are you going to be rich? I don't know. Mm. One thing that I am going to say is this: if you don't know what you're doing and you have no interest in finding out, you should probably sell. Sell while the selling is good before the selling is no good. Because what that means is you're just going to sell because you have no idea what you're doing, and you might fuck around and make a bad trade. Now, I don't know if you know about miners and how they extract value from people that don't know what they're doing. But let me see, because Orca sent a tweet out earlier, which is actually pretty good on the basis of that. I don't know if it was the millions they've stolen just so far in the past 12 months or what. Give me a second to find it. Since January 2020 until July 2021, so 18 months, the total dollar value extracted by miners on Ethereum was at that point in time $800 million, and that includes successful and failed transactions. So this is what people are getting, right, from the other side, right? Now, what is it that we are trying to build over here? We're trying to build a freedom. We're trying to build a system that basically provides us the freedom to transact, the freedom to express ourselves how we see fit. And that's what they don't want, because they want you to be a pleb that works forever. That's all. They don't really want you to progress. I mean, if you don't see the price of gas in your local area, right? I mean, that should let you know exactly what's going on. Because gas was fine during the 4 years Mr. Trump was in office. Fine. In fact, gas went down to even below $2 and stabilized around $2 during his tenure. But what happened? Well, as soon as Mr. Resident joined the crew, prices started going up. Right? I mean, this is just the things that happen. Why do they happen? Because nobody cares, man. This is exactly why they happen. So I guess the question is, well, how do we make sure that something like that doesn't happen again? And how do we ensure that something like that doesn't happen within our community? Well, that's a hard question to answer. But there is an answer. And that answer is everybody being aware of what the hell is going on. Because if you're not aware, things are just happening and your input is irrelevant, right? You're just giving tacit approval because you're not saying no and you're not saying yes. You're just letting it happen. And that's just what it is. Yeah. And this is a good point, Angelo. This is a great point. Sure is a lot of sales for something that is supposedly illiquid. Very liquid, clearly. Very fucking liquid. Because what you end up seeing on the Staker app is what? All these people trying to get their hands on Hex, because the quantity of transactions always supersedes, is always greater than the quantity of sales in terms of buys. The quantity of buying transactions are greater than the quantity of buys or sales, right? And this is how we know that people are actually buying, and that, I mean, we can see this data, we can see these transactions. I mean, the blockchain is not hiding anything. So if you want, right, you can go there and see yourself. And these are the kinds of things, right, that people just won't do. Right? People won't do it. I mean, think about it. You got people that think that these people with big bags staking short, taking a monthly salary out, are doing something. I don't know. I don't even know what to describe it as, but it's just so irrelevant. Because over time, guess what? They lose every time. The only difference is the dollar value. But the system is still working the same. It's still working as it's supposed to. Nobody's getting shorted. Everybody's always getting the same yield. So how exactly is there an issue with anybody doing what they're doing? The system is designed to be fair, literally. This is why you still have the ability to get 40%, 30%, whatever the fuck you want. But you have to put in the work to understand that that's possible. That's nobody else's responsibility. That's your responsibility. The information is out there. I mean, I'm literally thinking about redoing all my old streams because people are that fucking lazy. And today I'm not really feeling like it. Really not. Because it's really ridiculous that people think they can't do a motherfucking YouTube search if the video just isn't there. Readily available for them to fucking see some shit. Hilarious. Hilarious. Right? I mean, it's gotta be. It's gotta be hilarious. What else do you got here? right? What else do you got here? Nothing. Think about it. If you're not staked and you're not earning yield, what are you doing? You're not doing much of anything. You're just getting played. You're just holding a coin like everybody else. And you're just like everybody else. Literally. Literally are just like everybody else. You're not benefiting. You're not gaining anything. You're just holding a coin. That's it. You're just holding a coin. Ain't no value in that. Ain't no value in that if the coin isn't doing anything, right? That's the common now. That's a common thread, right? That's what everybody typically states, right? Because everybody wants to be a maxi, but what's the purpose of being a maxi? What's the purpose, right? What benefit does that yield you? It yields you no benefit whatsoever. That's the reality. It literally yields you no benefit. So you're just out there holding a coin just to hold it because the story is good. And look, there's nothing wrong with that, assuming there's momentum and all that good stuff behind the hold. Otherwise, why are you holding it? Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It is so crazy. Man, the commies are such haters. We got a lot of commies in this community, man. It's kind of crazy. So you guys be sure to call them out when you see them. And how do you know they're a commie? Well, if somebody's worrying about somebody else's pocket, they're a fucking commie. That's how you know. It's real simple. So anytime you see somebody talking about somebody else's pockets, you make sure to let them know to mind their motherfucking commie business. Or maybe remind them where the commies end up. Because clearly they forgot. But it's cool. We're going to remind them anyway. All in due time. All in due time. So, that is to say, while you're out there experiencing the world, trying to understand what it is that you're doing with this money, realize that there's a lot of people out there that are incentivized to lie to you. You know, what reason does somebody have to relay the message that they have? You see a lot of funny cats talking a lot of funny shit every day, and their actions speak for them because all they do is talk shit. They don't add any value whatsoever to the community and anything we got going on. And these people think that they stand out. They think that they matter. They think that they speak for you. Think about that. Commies and people that got nothing better to do but create drama and talk shit think that they speak for you. Something to be said about that. Because the longer we let that shit happen, the more comfortable clowns like this get. And here's the thing. I told you guys already once before, people are watching. They are watching. This is exactly how we know that the gatekeeping is real. I mean, hey, you'll see it eventually yourself. So I guess it's not happening in crypto, right? So it can't be happening anywhere else. Oh man, it's comical, man. It's comical, right? Because people really like to think this shit don't stink. But what we're gonna realize over time is that a lot of these people, and this includes a lot of OGs too, right? I mean, nobody here is special. All right. A lot of these cats just merely got lucky because they were following RH. They don't actually have any acumen, any ability. They just parrots in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? And you see a lot of that in the community. This is why you had a big divide when it came to Hedron. Very big one, right? Because what what was wrong with Hedron? Nothing. So, and then on top of that, it's just funny how so many just don't understand Hedron and what it is. And that's cool, But for those that do, and for those that are learning about it, enjoy the show, because a lot of people are going to get left behind. And that's just a beautiful thing, because this is how we ensure our future is going to be proper, right? We can't bring dummies along for the ride, that's for sure. We ain't going to benefit from that in any which way, shape, or form. So, oh yeah, the commies are coming. I never said the commies are coming, bro. I said the commies are here. So maybe you should learn to listen. Just a thought. Because there's plenty of people out here watching your pockets. So maybe you should worry about that and not about what I'm saying. Look around. Ain't nobody lying here. Let's see. If I'm worried about someone else's pocket, it's because I'm willing to share some of mine. Someone has these huge bags. Congratulations. Well, there you go. But that's not what you see from the people that are claiming to be whatever. Period. Shit is wild funny. Wild funny how these commies come out trying to act like they got a clue. But hey, man, they're commies, so they know where they're going to end up. It's all good. But you just be sure not to put yourself in that position where you're siding with commies, because trust me, it's not what you want for life. Ask people from the past. It's never worked out. It's not going to work out this time, that's for sure. So understand what HEX is. Understand that you're supposed to buy and stake HEX. Literally. Understand what Hedron is. Literally. And you guys have a good rest of your Saturday. I'll report back when I got something worth reporting. Peace. And before I go, don't forget to shit on all the commies. All of them. And we got plenty in this community. So make sure you educate everybody accordingly. Peace. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep. Everybody. My God. Hex agents, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets me. Yo, when is it?